This is how psychologists can change your entire mood. Imagine you're a freshman at college.
Okay.
As part of your general education requirements, you sign up for an intro to psychology class. You hear about an extra credit opportunity where all you have to do is be a participant in a psych study. Seems easy enough, and you could really use the extra points. You get to the lab, and you're told to sit down at a desk in a small beige room devoid of any decorations. The experimenter brings you a personality questionnaire to complete before moving on to the next task. You fill it out and hand it back to the experimenter, who says, "Let me go back and analyze your survey before we move on."
Okay.
And they leave the room again. You patiently await their return. The experimenter returns and places a packet on the desk. "Here are the results of your personality inventory. I need to set up the next task." And they leave once again.
Okay.
Picking up the test results, you see a bolded header that reads, "Extroversion, low." Based on your responses, your level of extroversion appears to be low. Individuals with low extroversion tend to prefer calm and introspective environments over highly social ones. You think, well, they nailed it there. You continue on to the next part that reads, "You're the type who will end up alone later in life. You may have friends and relationships now, but by your mid-20s, most of these will have drifted away. You may even marry or have several marriages, but these are likely to be short-lived and not to continue in your 30s.
What the heck?
Relationships don't last, and when you're past the age where people are constantly forming relationships, the odds are you'll end up being alone more and more." The experimenter returns. Ready for the next task?
Have I been in a task this entire time? Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Psych Papers, a podcast of bad content where we discuss controversial and interesting psychology studies and concepts. I'm Chris Cole. I have a PhD in psychology, and this is Joseph Tajaran.
I'm just his friend.
Today's episode is all about social exclusion and how psychologists study it. To study it, we need to be able to manipulate it. What I mean by that is we need to be able to induce feelings of social exclusion. So first, we need to understand what social exclusion is. So, Joseph, how would you define social exclusion?
Probably define it as like people not inviting you to a party, or you go to a party and you're not talking to anybody, or when you're like a tag along, like a friend invites you to their friend group, and then they're all sort of like already embedded in their social circle, and you're sort of like, where do I like jump into any of these? Like no one feels like inviting towards you. I feel like those are all kind of examples of social exclusion.
Yeah, that last one is an interesting one because it's like there's an element of inclusion and exclusion.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's similar to the loneliness episode last week where it's like people are around you, but they're not with you.
Oh man.
You know?
This is gonna be another
Yeah,
bummer
that
episode.
one hits deep. Yeah. So in academia, social exclusion is defined broadly as the experience of being kept apart from others physically, for example, like social isolation, or emotionally, for example, like being ignored or told you're not wanted. So you could even be invited to a party and then excluded once you're there just by everyone ignoring you.
So I had never been to a party before, believe it or not, in high school. Like I was not really invited to those sorts of things. And so my first year of college, like literally the first month of me being there was the first time I had got invited to a party. It was my roommate, Ryan, who was like the life of the party. He's like this big Estonian dude. And he's like, yeah, dude, just like come through. And then like I went with him to someone he knew and their dorm. And I remember like I'm not a very extroverted person, at least especially at this time. But like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna try my best to like try to make friends, even though this is not something that's like organic to me. I remember introducing myself at this dorm and just like, hey, my name is Joseph, and then like it was just sort of like a lukewarm response. And after I did the names, it was just like, I don't know if you've had this experience where you introduce yourselves, you're like, so what's going, like I'm not really great at conversation. And And so that's not the party yet. This is just us waiting for the party bus, which I didn't realize that there was going to be one. So there was a bus that would take you to this,
Oh, damn.
yeah, to this house. I don't even know. I don't even remember like all these details. But the bus took us somewhere, right? And my friend at this point, my roommate at this point has ditched me because of course he would, because he had met some girls and then I think he was trying to talk to them. So now I'm by myself and I don't know anyone in this bus. And I arrive there and I see him and we talk for a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go dance with some girls. I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks, Ryan. And I remember the
Thanks,
entire
Rye.
I remember the entire time I'm sitting there like, I am not having any fun. I'd rather be at home right now, like watching anime than being here. What am I doing here? And so I took the bus back. But I'm just like I don't know anyone here. I'm not good at socializing, and it's not anyone's like being like, oh, come over here. It's just like,
Yeah, it makes it makes it terrible when, like, before that night when you were going out, I'm sure you're like, okay, no, I should go out. This will be good for
yeah,
me. This
yeah,
will
yeah,
be
yeah,
fun.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then you're actually there. And then you're like, you know what? I was fucking right when I was like hesitant to go. I should have never gone. Like, what? Why was I trying to convince myself to go?
Yeah, it was.
I should just stay
I should
home.
have just like this was like. I'm glad I did it because now I know I'm never gonna do this shit ever again.
Yeah, there you
Because
go.
I thought I
Yeah.
was gonna be with this fool the entire night. I was like, okay, at least I know someone. I'll just hang on to him. But like, I mean, I didn't know
Yeah.
him that well. Like, it was like our first month living together. But like, I learned that he was a social butterfly, and he just kind of went with the flow. And I was just not that kind of person. So
Yeah. It's important to understand the effects that social exclusion has on us cognitively, behaviorally, emotionally, and societally. So, for example, when students feel excluded or isolated, it can lead to decreased engagement in the classroom, lower academic performance, and behavioral issues in school. It can also have effects in the workplace. Social exclusion can have detrimental effects regarding productivity, job satisfaction, and turnover rates. Think about how much money is spent by companies on team building and social events for employees because the benefits of social inclusion are so recognized.
you mean when I folk with my coworkers, I'm more likely to want to go to work or try harder when I'm assigned a project.
Yeah, when you're more intrinsically motivated to be like, I like this person. I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be proud of their work. I want to do this for us rather than extrinsically motivated, being like, I'm doing this for a paycheck or just to do the task.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also important to understand the psychological toll of social exclusion on mental health. Exclusion can lead to loneliness, depression, and anxiety, and can even contribute to criminal behavior and radicalization.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, if you could try to remember, how did you feel when you were socially excluded?
Like it's we had talked about this in previous episode about loneliness. It's like I just like when you feel like socially excluded, it's like a new level. It's a different kind of loneliness. It's like man, is there something wrong with me? Like, is there something that I'm not doing right? And then you get in me specifically, I get in my head about that. It's like, well, maybe if I jump, and then there's like a hesitancy of like pushing yourself to like talk to people. It's like, well, if they think I'm dumb. So I feel like for me, I get in my head a lot about what I should be doing to get out of this emotional state that I'm in, which is not very good.
Yeah. So kind of getting inside your own head and second guessing yourself a lot.
Yep.
And just having low confidence in yourself.
Yeah, and the second guessing increases the low level confidence I'm
Yeah.
already feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all experienced the classic example of if there's a conversation going on, you know how they form little circles of people.
Oh God.
And you're standing on the outskirts of the conversation,
no.
and nobody opens up. They could just rotate their body a little bit to open up to let you into the circle, but no one does. So you're just kind of standing looking over their shoulders.
What's worse is when you're in a 3-person conversation and then 2 people really start going into the conversation about a topic you have nowhere about and you have nothing about, and you're just like, okay, what do I what do I do now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was at a recruiting event one time, or not a like a networking event,
Yeah.
at a psych conference. It was held by a company. And I'm so in my head at these events. I'm like, I need to get these people to like me because I need them to give me a job. And I'm talking to this person who's a recruiter there. And she was like, oh yeah, I've been like a recruiter here for like 4 years now. And I was like, oh, cool. And then this is like in the middle of the conversation. She's like, yeah, I've been like a recruiter for like 4 years now. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so what's next? Or what's the end goal in your career?
What? Oh my god.
She was like, I'm happy where I'm at. And I was like, oh, yeah, totally. I mean, it sounds awesome.
What did you intend by that question? What was like?
I meant like I was thinking, I was like, what's like the next, like, do you become like a manager of recruiters? Like, what's the trajectory for that career?
Where do you see yourself
like,
going down this career path?
Yeah. But it's like she was like, oh yeah, I'm a recruiter, and I'm like, oh, so what do you actually want to do?
Yeah, that's what it came off as. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
In order to understand the effects that social exclusion has on us, we need to be able to manipulate it and induce it in a controlled laboratory setting. Researchers induce social exclusion in participants and then study the consequences of it. So how do researchers induce social exclusion? Methods on manipulating social exclusion broadly fall into 3 categories. Methods in which participants, 1, interact with other individuals, 2, interact with computer avatars who the participants believe are real people, or 3, written material manipulations, which are some of my favorite. Okay, so in the first group, interacting with other individuals, these paradigms involve interacting with other people, typically the experimenter, a confederate or paid actor, a group of confederates, or a group of participants working to socially exclude the participant. So this first one is called the Get Acquainted Paradigm. It uses real people to make a single participant feel ostracized. Imagine you arrive to a lab in a group of 4 to 6 people.
All right.
Everyone puts on a name tag, and you all introduce yourselves. You then start a Get Acquainted task for 15 minutes in which you all discuss questions designed to help everyone get to know each other.
Okay.
After getting to know each other, the experimenter tells you, we are interested in forming groups in which the members like and respect each other. On the paper in front of you, please name the 2 people you would like most to work with.
Okay.
The experimenter collects everyone's responses and leaves for a moment to form the groups. You're waiting in a room by yourself when the experimenter comes back and tells you, I hate to tell you this, but no one chose you as someone they wanted to work with.
But yet behind the scenes, like, can't wait to tell them this.
And then you would work on the next task.
Okay.
The feedback is obviously fake and controlled by the experimenter.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you would feel after this? Do you think it would work on you?
I feel, yeah, it would work on me. I feel like shit. It's like, wow, what the fuck? What did I do? I thought,
what did I say? You're probably thinking of the things you said.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're just recalling, like, I said I did improv. I said
I shouldn't have brought that up. Shit.
They think I'm so stupid.
It's so sad because like those feelings that the participants feel are so real.
Yeah.
But like that's you need that to study.
I get that. I get that. Psychology is all about gauging how someone feels bad. I totally get it.
Exchanging videotapes paradigm. This method of social exclusion uses pre-recorded video messages to make you feel rejected.
Oh.
You are told you would engage in sending video messages back and forth with someone before a face-to-face meeting with a partner.
Okay.
You're given a cover story about how researchers are interested in investigating how limiting initial interactions would affect communication. The process begins with you watching a 3-minute video supposedly created by your study partner. It's actually a pre-recorded message.
Okay.
The video features a friendly, paid actor discussing personal and career aspirations, and you then respond to the same set of questions. Later, the researchers introduced the exclusion manipulation. After a 5-minute interval, you're informed that your partner would not be participating in the task with you. They tell you that your partner left because they didn't want to meet with you after watching your video.
Oh man. Shit. And
Do you
how?
think this would work on you?
Yes, it would work. It would like, what? What did I do? What happened here?
What did I say? I shouldn't have brought up that I like anime. Fuck. I'm always so unsure whether or not to bring that up. I knew I shouldn't have.
Oh man, all these manipulations would work very well with me. It would rile me up.
Cyberball. Cyberball is the most common method for manipulating social exclusion in people. It involves a virtual ball tossing game with computer-controlled avatars. I've even used this in some of my studies in grad
Okay.
school. Participants are led to believe the other players in the game are real people playing the game online, but in reality, they're computer-controlled.
I'm already 5 steps ahead of you, but go ahead. What you're gonna say?
You can see where this is going.
Yeah.
It's literally, imagine, we'll throw up a visual right now, but it's like 3 stick figures throwing a little stick ball around.
This is the same shit you and your brother pull on your little nephew when you're playing
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah.
He's trying to run after you,
It
get the
is.
ball, you just pass with each other.
And you're doing these on like these college students. Oh, what, you want to play? You want to play? You got to be this tall.
Does this work? Oh, no, this is a different example. I'll be like, what's going on?
So there's 3 players, you and 2 others. It's all computer controlled. You can program the computers. Initially, all players receive the ball equally. You just click on who to pass it to.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure.
There's no points. There's no objective. There's nothing. You just pass it for 5 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
So initially, all players receive the ball equally. However, over time, the other players gradually exclude the participant from receiving the ball. Then eventually, you're just watching other people play the game without you. This simulated exclusion creates a realistic experience of being left out, triggering emotions associated with social rejection, and provides researchers a controlled way to study the psychological and behavioral effects of social exclusion.
Chris, the
It's
visual,
ridiculous that this works.
the visual of a bunch of 19-year-olds just playing this game together, or just 19-year-olds just like, and then after a while they're not passing, just looking at the researcher like, what? What? You see what's
They're
going
not.
on here?
They're not passing me the ball.
Can you tell them?
Yeah.
This is effective.
This is effective. The cyberball paradigm is widely used in psychological research to study the effects of social exclusion. It might be the
crazy.
most common method. It only works if people believe the ruse
Sure.
that they're real people. So we ask at the end of the study, did you believe that the players in Cyberball were real or not? And if they say, no, I didn't believe they're real, then we exclude them.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think being excluded in an online game is the same as being excluded in person? Or do you think they're different?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I know for me in person it's more awkward, right? Because it's like you feel the actual visual of you being in a place with other bunch of people and being ignored is much harder to grasp than like being at the comfort of your home or like in a safer space where you don't have to make interaction with someone. So I would imagine it's different.
Yeah, whereas in person, you kind of have to like pretend like you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
gotta pretend like you don't care. Yeah.
You have to hide you can hide your emotions a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, that face. That's the face for this.
It's fine.
That's the
I didn't even want to play the I like didn't even want to play the fun game that everyone's playing. I hate games. Oh, it's only 4 players. That's fine. I had something to do on my phone anyways. I had this game to play on my phone, so it's cool. It's cool. I'll keep score. Another method of manipulating social exclusion is having participants play Ostracism Online,
A
which
game?
sounds like a super not fun video game.
Yeah. You mean my life?
So participants play Ostracism Online to get excluded, where they receive less likes on an online profile of theirs. Participants are told that they'll work on a group task with other people online who are actually computer-controlled avatars. Participants then go to a web page where you enter your name, you select a custom avatar, and you write a paragraph introducing yourself to the group. You share your profile with the group and read the profiles of other group members, which were pre-programmed to be diverse in age, gender, and race. While reading the profiles, you have the option, you can press a like button after reading a group member's profile. All of these likes were displayed on their profiles. Researchers made people feel excluded by programming the participant's profile to receive less likes than everyone else.
This definitely bothers me. This is why I don't have social media, Chris, because I lose my mind for stuff like this.
Yeah. What do you think a like means on social media?
I think it means like people like are paying attention to you. I think there's like a gratification, like a validation of like, oh, the thing I posted is they're receptive to it. They're paying attention to me. That's what I think about when I see a like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like a acknowledgement of being like, if someone's like, hey, I still exist. And another person is like, hey, I know you exist.
Yeah.
It's like a weird type of validation.
Yeah. It's worse when you compare it with other with other stuff that's on there. It's like, why did this get so much? But mine didn't. Yeah. That's where I end up being, and that's a place I don't like being in.
Yeah, it's weird. When I scroll back to the beginning of my Instagram, like back when Instagram like just came out, I was like posting photos that would either get like 0 or like 1 like. But I kept posting those photos because I thought they were like cool photos. And now that like it's gotten more popular, I've developed like a larger network now. Now I have like certain expectations now, which like totally takes a lot of the fun out of it. Now I'm like, why didn't that get as many likes as that other
Where's
photo?
my engagement in my personal Instagram?
I know. Yeah.
Hey, fuck, the Chris brand is tanking right now. I'm not getting as much likes as my last post.
I look back when I first started and I was like, I was just posting photos of this bumblebee, like a close-up shot. And I was like, that's cool. And now I'm like, how many views is this getting?
Come on, I'm doing all the things people like. I'm wearing a Cubs jersey. I'm at a Cubs game. Come on, what's going on?
Oh my God. Yeah. The final category of social exclusion manipulations is written material manipulations. Written material manipulations involve participants getting feedback from a personality inventory that suggests in the future they'll be alone with nobody by their side. This one is called a lonely future. The lonely future paradigm involves giving false feedback on a personality test, suggesting to participants that they'll be alone for the rest of their lives. Participants are randomly assigned to a feedback condition, future belonging or future alone. So we either want to make people feel a sense of belonging or we want to make people feel a sense of loneliness. Participants take a personality test and they're told that it will show them the likely outcomes for their future. To establish credibility, participants were provided with accurate feedback regarding their levels of extroversion, high, medium, low, and what that means. Participants in the future belonging or future alone conditions received the following bogus scripted feedback about the implications of their extroversion scores for future social expectations. The future belonging script stated, "You're the type who has rewarding relationships throughout life. You're likely to have a long and stable marriage and have friendships that will last into your later years. The odds are that you'll always have friends and people who care about you."
Okay, all right, I like that.
If you're randomly assigned to the future alone condition, your personality test says, "You're the type who will end up alone later in life.
Oh, man.
You may have friends and relationships now, but by your mid-20s, most of these will have drifted away. You may even marry or have several marriages, but these are likely to be short-lived and not continue into your 30s. Relationships don't last, and when you're past the age where people are constantly forming relationships, the odds are you'll end up being alone more and more.
Joseph, in the edit, use all the pictures from my Google Photos and just fade through each photo throughout the years.
And play a slow piano as if it's like in memoriam.
Oh man. Yo, this is fucked up. There's already like we were over I don't know how many like inducement tests. Someone was like, you know what? I think we haven't really explored the territory where we made someone feel really awful, not only currently, but in the future.
Yeah.
This is fucked up.
To come up with that script, like you have to be like, hey guys, we have one paragraph and we need to make people feel as bad as possible. Every word counts here, guys. Come on.
And then the Joseph version in the back, like, no, I got it. I know exactly what to write.
I'll just pull it out of my diary.
I already wrote this in my private blog spot. Just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man. Psychologist, man. What a job.
Please, after the end, they tell them, like, oh, JK. They don't let this participant just walk home.
Yes,
Just like
there is always, if they're doing good research, there is always a debriefing phase where they tell them, being like, hey, by the way, those personality test results you got were bogus. We randomly assigned you to receive these results. They're not real.
Oh, thank God. Bro, I thought I was going to be alone.
Could you imagine, though? Like, I mean, maybe that's not enough. Imagine if some participants are like, no, I believe it. No, it's true.
No, you affirmed the thing that I was thinking about.
It was right. Yeah. The future alone condition is intended to induce feelings of social exclusion and anticipation of a lonely future. Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Past studies have proved its effectiveness at lowering people's feelings of belongingness and trust, and they experience an increase in self-defeating behaviors. How fucked up, man.
Man.
I don't know how good a debriefing, phase can be to really. If someone's really feeling down on themselves, be like, "Hey, psych, those test results weren't real." And it's like, yeah, but the last 20 minutes of my distress were like, of the last 20 minutes of me spiraling. Yeah, like that was real.
Dude, my girlfriend just broke up with me before this test. I didn't.
Yeah, I gotta get her back.
I came here for a $20 Visa gift card and a bowl of soup.
Came here for a free bowl of soup, man. What the fuck?
What the hell, dude? Bro, I was just doing this as a favor to you. Why the hell did you make me feel bad?
I did this for a fucking one extra point on my final, bro. Now I'm gonna start therapy, man.
Jeez.
Which method was your favorite or was most memorable?
I didn't like any of these. These suck.
Yeah.
But the fucking throwing the ball one is hilarious to me. And the fact that it
Cyberball.
works, yeah, it's even funnier.
Oh yeah.
Just keep a no keep away, basically.
Yeah. It's monkey in the middle.
Monkey in the middle, yeah. Oh man. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The last one, that one sucked. I don't like the fucking future one.
A lonely future. That's my favorite.
Yeah, out of the ones we went through, there's usually dealing with the current status of how you're feeling. And maybe there's some introspection, right, that makes you think further off. But like, what the hell? Like, what a fucking like fortune. Fucking, can you imagine opening that fortune cookie and just like, you're gonna be alone together? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
No thanks.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Could I have been randomly assigned to the future your life's gonna be awesome group? Shit.
I needed to pick me up, man.
You're gonna have a great family and multiple houses. Shit. How do I get into that group?
Which one did you like? Which one do you?
I liked the last one, a lonely future, because that one's dark and fucked up. It's not like, oh, we're gonna have our own little interaction and you're gonna like not be included. That's like petty high school shit. I like this one where it's like you may have relationships now, you may even marry, you may have several marriages, but eventually they'll all fade away. Like,
oh shit, dude. Yeah, the other ones are just like you feel awkward.
yeah, like there's a difference between like, oh, I feel awkward right now and I'm very socially uncomfortable versus like, I'm fucking gonna like take a cold shower. I'm gonna sit on the bathroom floor for like an hour.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's just
that's my favorite.
Yeah, let's just remind people these are psychology researchers. These are not even therapists.
Yeah. Nope.
They don't
not trained to actually debrief or deal with your feelings.
Yeah.
Well, they're trained to deal with your feelings. They're trained to get you to a bad state. They're not trained to get you out of it.
That's your job.
What's the opposite of a therapist?
A troll. Jeez.
Maybe. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
All right. If you're still listening, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
Hope you don't feel bad. Maybe the next one will be we're just on a string of feels bad episodes. This is like the feels bad arc, Chris.
Yeah. We've had like 4 in a row. I know. I'll find a happy one
Please,
soon.
like,
Maybe next episode.
Let's buffer a couple of these. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.